Okay, part two of my symphony at St. John the Divine, the New York Philharmonic. Was it worth going? First, I want to say it was pretty easy to get in. Very easy, free. Even though there was kind of a long line, the line moved quick. So I really wasn't in line for more than maybe 5 or 6 minutes, believe it or not. And there were plenty of seats upstairs. There was a great cathedral. It was very nice setting, very, very cool. The sitting, impressive place. How about the symphony? I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, because somehow the way that they played the music and most of the pieces were, to me, almost like wallpaper. They started with a piece by a composer. I won't mention the name because I don't want to say too much against it, but it sounded like listening to a conversation that you can't understand anything in it, and it lasted for a few minutes and then it stopped, and oh well. So sorry about that. It was supposed to be a special feature of the night, and I guess it was special because it was not memorable, but then they played Debussy, and they did Debussy good. I have heard other people play it even better, but you can't really louse up Debussy much. He's good, so they did do Debussy well. And then they did Wagner, and the way they did Wagner almost sounded like they were doing Debussy, which was a little bit odd, but there were some parts of the Wagner that were good, and other parts sounded like I was watching rain dripping off of a piece of wallpaper. Was it absolutely not worth my time going? I can't say that because I got a program from them that has a lot of different artists mentioned and some interesting articles in it. So overall, it was 50% worth it. It was worth it for the things that I didn't think it would be worth for. It wasn't necessarily worth it for the actual music, but for everything else, the ambiance, the program, the no price, and the atmosphere, that was worth it. So for those people who don't like symphony orchestras because they think that they're not interesting, if you hear stuff like this and only stuff like this, I can understand. But I went to another symphony that was really, really good. The conductor was great. They made the pieces sound really, really top notch. And even though they were pieces that were like typical pieces within the overall catalog of classical performances, if you do something well, it works. So I'm going to hand it to the other orchestra. I'm not going to mention names right now because I don't want this to be an us against them sort of situation. But I will say, if you can go to a really good symphony orchestra, it is worth it. It's just that if you go to one that's not so great, even if it's got a high reputation with a top-notch, conductor in prestige and all that, still If it's not great, it's not great. And I have to say that I'm still going to listen to classical music. I'm going to listen to stuff on my laptop, on YouTube, some really great work. And I'm not going to compare it to what I heard now. It's going to be its own thing. But yeah, if you want to listen to good classical music, I really can't say that the event that I went to tonight was great. Except I did like the place. I did like the atmosphere. The people were cool. It's just the music wasn't that great. But that's only in that instance. In the other instance, when I went to the other symphony orchestra at this other place, they were very good both times. So I will support them, definitely. Anyway, that's been my kind of evasive review of everything. Take care and cheers.